Good morning, everybody. I don't want to look too serious, but good morning. Sawadee Ton Chow. Sawadee. What's happening? What kind of day is it shaping up to be? You know, I just basically got out of bed, washed up a little bit, brushed my teeth, threw on some clothes, and ran out the door. I haven't even thought about anything today, really, but today is a Freestyle Friday. Seems as good of a day as any to be freestyle. Freestyle, as they say here. What do you like? What do you like to do? I'm freestyle. I love that. Today we have the manager, as always, almost always, he's working, and also Miss Preo is working. And I am the only person in here aside from those two. So, not many people here yet, but that will change. Today is a bit humid. The Thai baht is 33.19. Got a little stronger from yesterday. The air quality index is 81. 79 is the low, 89 is the high. Actually, 79 is the temperature right now, 89 is the high, 76 is the low, 86 is the feel-like temperature, 90% humidity, and 40% chance of rain. So I dare say we'll be getting some rain again, as we did yesterday afternoon. I have put up, good morning everybody. I have put up 5 boat names. Now you can only put 5 things, 5 choices in your poll on your community tab here on YouTube. So my choices are, these are the first 5. I may have I'll have another 5 for sure. And then there may be even another 10. Depends on how many good ones people give me. The first one is Illogical Logic. The second one is They Call Me Farang. The third one is Chowderhead. The fourth one is Up to You. And the fifth one is SS Farang. So those are just to be, you know, this is going to take a while for me to choose them. It's going to take a while for me to get a boat as well. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to go to Chantaburi and go there and do everything, or I'm just going to wait. I didn't really have a chance to check yesterday. I didn't do much yesterday. Yesterday was a little bit of a long day. I had some things to do, but anyway, that's what's going on there. You can go into the community tab on my channel. If you just go to, you hit my channel name, and then you go to community, the very first thing you'll see is round 1, names for the inflatable raft. And again, Illogical Logic, They Call Me Farang, Chowderhead, Up to You, which is one of my favorites. I'll say that right away. And SS Farang, I just had to put that in there. So, and I'll have a couple more polls going up in the next few days. But anyway, that's where we are right now. I'd like to wait a few seconds and let some people come in. Big storm in Melbourne last night, very windy, trees down, 12 centigrade, now rainy. Well, there was supposed to be a big storm this week, and we really haven't seen it. So, I'm surprised there's not more people coming in really early. I want to find out if they were open at 6. It says, I think, 6:30 over there, but now they're open at 7:30. I don't know why they changed it, but I would suspect it's because of the COVID. Anyway, you know, there are some Starbucks that are open really early, 6 o'clock, 6:30. And that would make sense to me. Although here at the mall, people are not doing a drive-by to the mall to get their coffee. You know, they're stopping at places a little easier to park before they come in. So for just a few minutes, I got a few things to do here. Give me about 2 minutes, and I'm just gonna focus on Starbucks. Good morning, Mr. Rangsant in Rayon. Good morning to you. Sawadee Kap. Okay, I think I'm all set up now. One of the things that I forgot to talk about yesterday was the comments that I got from one particular subscriber who I value his comments and his opinions quite highly, because he's been married to a Thai woman for a long time, and he knows about Thailand, and he's not just some guy who's coming here as a tourist. I love Thailand. He's not one of these guys. He knows the realities, and he knows that there's some wonderful things here, and that every once in a while there are a few things that can be a headache. But I respect his opinion and his comments. Beard filling in nicely. Actually, one of the little errands I have today is to buy a little pair of scissors so that I can trim the hair that's getting into my mouth. I have to do that. I'm not gonna trim the beard yet. I'm gonna let it grow out for maybe another month, and then I'll go and get it all shaved and done nicely, hopefully. And if it doesn't come out nicely, then I'll chop it all off. Okay, good. So listen, we're talking about this guy Jim Urardi, who is, I believe he's planning on retiring in a few months. And he's been married, I think it was 10 years, but I'm going to go back and read some of what he's written. But let me check something here. All right, so the first thing I'm going to read right now is about Sinsot. And my comment was that, and this is how many years ago? Let me see here. I did this video. I think it was in Kokut when I did it, which I don't remember how many years ago that was. Good morning, Mr. Richard. Good morning. Okay, let me see when this was. 4 years ago? Yeah, actually, November 2nd of 2017, so almost 4 years to the day. Now, what I was saying what I say about Sinsot is, it really depends on the situation, but I think it's less prevalent than, say, 25 years ago. And it's not always necessary. It depends on the situation. And also, the thing is that sometimes, and this is what this guy brings up here, it's just a nice thing to do to help the family if they're really in need and you're really serious and the girl's a good girl and I mean, you have a good sense of it, and you've been together, and she's not, rocking 3 kids, and she's had 30 ex-boyfriends or anything like that. It's a nice thing to do for the family, and like this guy says, he says, depends. It's a nice thing to do, within reason, and with I think he means a cool head. That is, as a face-saving measure and sign of goodwill in the more traditional-minded parts of Thailand. Nobody likes to be humiliated, classified as worthless, damaged goods, and having fingers pointed at them. Well, I would say that if your girl is viewed as damaged goods simply because you're not giving her money, then maybe there's something wrong. Because one of the things that I've been talking about is, thank you very much, Richard. Thank you. I appreciate that. One of the things that I've been talking about is, listen, if you're going to live here, and you're set on living here, and you got a pretty good sense that you're going to be able to live here, whether you're a retiree, you're working for a company or whatever, and you happen to meet a girl, which I always say, listen, don't go out looking for some, I'm going to go find the girl of my dreams. You might not. I mean, come on, be reasonable about it. If you happen to find one, then consider yourself lucky. Because not everybody is, but if you're going to find one, have some standards. I would say, and I say this all the time, good morning, soy dog cowboy. I would say you got to have some standards. If you're like, and I think most guys now, they know about this. Oh, there you go. Wow. Thank you very much, soy dog cowboy. Thank you. Choke D to you and to Mr. Richard. What was I going to say to Richard? I did tell Chucky that he needs to come into the stream more often, and he gave me the name of his channel, but I don't remember what it is right now. It's in my Line account, and he did say he would try to come in more often, but he sent me a photo or something yesterday. Let me see if I can find it real quick. My wife asked me to pay Sinsod when I came to Nong Khai to ask if I could take her to New York. She said her parents didn't need it, but she wanted me to show her parents I respect their culture. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. He's in Pattaya. Let's see here. Chucky. Oh, 101 countries. I'm a paramedic. A nurse on an ambulance at the time made about $6,000 a year, so that's what I gave them. Wow. Well, I don't know if that's how you would go about figuring it, but I guess it depends on her. I hate to say this, but her status in Thai society. She's a nurse, so you gave her a year's wage is basically what you do. As long as you can agree on it, with the family. The family's not going, and they're going to be, they're gonna be spiteful because you're not giving enough. You don't, they think that their daughter is worth a lot more or something like that. And maybe you don't have the money, but you say, listen, I really love the girl or whatever. Maybe they'll let it go, maybe they won't. There's a lot of Thai guys that I've met that have saved for a couple of years to be able to save up money for Sinsan. I knew one guy who he asked the boss, I think he gave his girl 700,000 baht, and she was a college-educated girl, and I don't know if he was her first boyfriend or any of that kind of stuff, but he ended up giving her family 700,000 baht. And then I don't remember how many baht of gold, but it was significant. It wasn't like 1 baht of gold. It was 4 or 5 or something like that. He gave her, fair chunk. But there are people here that, you know, if you've ever seen in the papers and stuff, there are people, they get a couple million baht. I mean, it happens fairly often. If I had met a girl in New York and was expecting to give her a ring, it would have cost more. Yeah, but that's not, I don't think that that's the way that you should figure it. Honestly. Oh, well, it would cost me more. That's Western thinking. I mean, granted, you live in the West, so. But the truth is that the way that things are in the U.S., you know, doesn't have any bearing on what they're paying here. What's important is, you know, are they a virgin? Have they had a lot of boyfriends? You know, how many boyfriends have they had? Do they have kids? Are they college educated? Do they come from a good family, a family with money? You're good. Just think, Chucky, help me show. Just don't change his things because me. I don't know. You know, if I can get Chucky on, I will, but we're not having much luck with the software. I just don't see the difference is my point. I mean, I understand. That's a different way of looking at it. In my opinion, it's more like I don't give a shit what's going on in the United States and how they do things in the United States. I care about what they do here. And, you know, I think that was fair, what you gave her. I mean, it's reasonable, you know, and especially, listen, if you got $20,000 in the bank, and she's asking for $20,000, well then it's kind of like, wait a minute, now, why am I going to give you my life savings when, you know, it's going to leave me with nothing, and I'm the one who is responsible for the family. At the end of the day, they expect you to be responsible for the family, you know. Well, you know what happens a lot of times is that if it's a good family, you give the money to the family, and the family may give some of the money back. They may give it to her in case of an emergency. She's taking care of it. They may give you a little piece of land. They may do any number of things. So I just think that the important thing is to be smart and to be reasonable. And if they get carried away, if you go in and there's some girl, she's got 2 kids, you know, they're like 5 years old and 4 years old, and you're going to have to be taking care of them for the next, say, 15, 20 years or 15, 18 years, whatever. That's a different story from what you're talking about. I think what you did is completely reasonable. As I said, if you have, you know, you got a couple kids you got to raise, and maybe depending on what her job was previous to meeting you, or while she's with you, you know, you may have to give more or less. But if she's got a bunch of kids and she doesn't have a job and she's not college educated, and first of all, you know, I mean, I understand that there's no real formula about, well, they have to have this and they have to have that. It doesn't generally work that way. You just end up hooking up with each other. You know, thank you very much, fella. Thank you, Choke D. Why pick a Thai wife? Location? I mean, if you live in Thailand, you know, I'd lived here for a couple of years before I met my wife. And it was just kind of like, all right, let's go out, let's, you know. And then it's like the whole honest woman thing. You know, you want to make an honest woman out of her? If a high-so Thai woman married a young stud with no money, would Sin Sot work the other way around? Of course not. Well, she, you know, who knows? I guess it depends on, them, but generally, no. And you know, a high-so Thai woman, you're saying I'm assuming you mean an older woman, and I guess it depends on how hot she is, what she's got going on in her life, what she expects for the guy. If, you know, she expects the guy to be at her beck and call. It's just the same thing here. If you meet some girl, she's a farm girl, she's a wonderful girl, nice girl, very sweet, very dedicated to you, but she has no real education, and she's going to have a hard time making a good living, and you need her help. And this is what happens a lot of times. Maybe you need her help. Maybe you need her to help you with a business you're starting or a job that you're working at, and you need her to help do things like, maybe you wear suits every day and you need her to take the suits to the place to get cleaned or whatever it might be. So, you got to give her something to take care of her. And if you don't, then that's generally where the problems start. If they have no money and they have nothing going on, Let me see something here. Creo. Oh, she's in the back. Anyway, I want to ask her two things. When she puts away, she's got all her arms are full. I could pick a Thai wife, but I don't think my wife would like that. Gennaro, you're funny. Creo. ธรรมดาเบิร์ดที่โมงครับ7 โมงไม่ใช่6 โมงครึ่งเพราะว่ายังไม่ได้เปลี่ยนเลยนี่ตอนนี้ก็ดูมัน6 โมงครึ่งก็เปลี่ยนแล้วอ่ะอ๋อก่อนโควิดแต่ตอนนี้ครึ่งโอเคอีกหนึ่งคุณตอนนี้ไม่มีแฟนใช่ไหมไม่เอาใช่ไหมแต่ถ้าที่อนาคตคุณอยากได้มีแฟนอยากได้มีครอบครัวอยากได้มีทุกอย่างใช่ไหมแล้วก็อยู่จะแต่งงานกับคนเขาจะให้สินสอดไหมคุณคิดประมาณเท่าไหร่ดีประมาณ500,000ถ้ารักมากใช่ไหมมันไม่เกี่ยวกับรักมากก็ต้องมาให้แม่อ๋อส่วนถ้าเลี้ยงดู500,000ตามกำลังของผู้ชายแล้วก็ถ้าเขาพูดโอ้ยตอนนี้ก็ไม่พอนะแต่มี400,000โอเคไหมเพราะว่าฝรั่งธรรมดาเขาแยกรู้เดี๋ยวนี้ก็ธรรมดาเท่าไหร่แล้วก็ถ้าผู้หญิงก็ไปโรงเรียนแล้วก็ไม่มีลูกแล้วก็ไม่ได้นอนกับใครแล้วก็เป็นคนดีแล้วก็ครอบครัวดีต้องให้ต้องให้มากกว่าถ้ารวยมากต้องpay money. Okay, all right, so there we go. So what she was saying is she agreed, if they're from a good family, if they don't have any kids, they haven't been, they're innocent, they're educated, it's gonna cost you more money. Now, I said to her, you don't have a boyfriend now. Now, she's been telling me she doesn't have a boyfriend for a while now. And she said 500,000, and I said, well, what about if he goes, I don't know, I cannot pay that much. I really don't have it. I said, what about if you guys love each other? And she said, okay, 400,000. She would agree to it. So you get an idea. You get an idea about what they're looking for, and the difference is that if you get a girl who is, and this is not always the case, so let me be clear about that. If you get a woman and you go, okay, she works in a bar, but she's different. Now, very seldom is the girl all that different. They all basically, they go there because of one reason, and that's money. Good morning, everybody. They go there, and that's because they want to earn money. And as she said, it's not, I don't care about the money for me, it's for my family. It's out of respect for her family and all the money that they've spent to help raise her and that kind of thing. So, there you go. Now, I don't know how we got on that, but that was the first comment that the guy made He says here, not even the ex-bar girls, born in some rice farming family in rural Isan, well aware of their lack of social status and bride worth that Western men tend to propose to. See it as a useful gauge, I think it's gauge, of hers and her family's intention. If your Isan lady of liking mentions sinsod and million baht in the same sentence, it's a red flag that things will not end well. Very true. Very, very true. Thank you again, Richard. Choke D to you. Appreciate that very much. This has been, I don't know, I know that we're going to reach number 4 of the best months that I've had in all the time that I've been online. And I think maybe we'll get to number 3 or even maybe number 2. Rangsan, tell us what your story is, because I believe you're Thai, right? Please enlighten us. Let us know a little something about you. Now, Jim, who I was talking about, said, I heard your teaser in the intro regarding what I assume were my comments. I was looking forward to hearing the reaction from the viewers, which, thank you very much, Tom's Crazy. Choke D to you, Choke D. I was looking forward to hearing the reaction from the viewers, but the stream took a turn into the visas, etc. Yes, and that's why I'm talking about it today, because I remembered, oh shit, I didn't even get to what I wanted to talk about. That happens sometimes, you know. It's that lack of focus. Feel free to drop my name, as I am open to fielding questions on what makes my experience different from others. I retire in 5 weeks, and I will be able to get my fat ass out of bed to participate in the dialogue during the streams. Catch you later. So that's and I will get to his comments in a moment here, because he had some good comments. Now, you know, people have asked me many times, oh, where did you meet your wife? I met her through a friend. And she had a little thing going on. She was in school, she was in university, and she was working for a friend doing some fishing stuff. She's good with her hands. And she was doing some fishing lures and stuff, and she had hired a few girls to help her, and she taught them what to do. And basically the way that it worked was, maybe she got paid 5 baht for a lure or something like that. I don't remember what the deal was, but she got paid like 5 baht for a lure, and she had to give like each one of the girls a baht. So she would basically, she would make sure that they were doing well, and then she would keep like 2 baht for every lure, and then they would make a couple of thousand lures like a day. You're a 75-year-old man. Oh, well, you got a lot of wisdom then. Please feel free to impart any of your wisdom onto the foreigners in this chat, and maybe every once in a while there's a Thai or two in here, but Makamku Nikom Patana Rayong. I got a question for you, actually. I was thinking about going to, what is it? Chantaburi. Chantaburi in the next week. However, there's not a lot that seems to be open there. And one of the things I wanted to do was to go to the Klong Pong Nam Ron. Pong Nam Ron. And it's the river there, I guess. It's the area. And the only places that I saw for rafting, I can't get a hold of them. So I'm thinking that maybe they're closed or closed down, but I don't know if you know anything about that. It looks like you do some cycling. So maybe you know something about that, I don't know. But Richard, feller, what do you call a 70-year-old, the 70-year-olds? What's the phrase for 70-year-olds and up? Septuagenarian, that's what it is. Septuagenarian. So Richard is a septuagenarian, and so is Kun Rangsant. Okay, so let me go back here and read some of what Jim said. The first thing he said was, sorry I missed the stream. That was the other one the other day that he had been talking about. I have friends, acquaintances who have had bad relationships with Thai women, and I have had others who have had very successful relationships. When I met my wife, it started out as a friendship. We met on a pen pal site. Neither of us was looking for a hookup. A friendship grew into a relationship, and I decided to meet her family and experience her culture. This aspect is, in my opinion, a very important factor in developing a relationship. Before entering into a relationship, I had accepted the fact I needed to assimilate into her culture. This was no problem because I enjoyed her family and there was mutual respect. And what I would say is, yeah, I say that all the time. If you're here for 6 months, don't just hook up, oh baby, I'm gonna marry you. Don't do that. Chantaburi not open in November this year yet. Oh. Well, it looks like I'll be going to Chiang Mai then. It'll be in a few weeks, so that's all right. I'll get over there eventually. Things will open up. I'm starting to feel better about everything. But I like what he's saying is it's important to factor in the relationship, the culture into the relationship, which obviously, if there is sin-sawing and you're a guy who, I never give money for a wife, I'm taking care of her, and yeah, but what about if she's got a job and you both are working your asses off to make as much money as you can to sock it away so that you don't have it to worry about anything? And she's, here's the thing. You want a smart girl? She's got a degree. She's going to probably end up working. And she's going to have a career. You get a girl who is, I'm not saying this can't happen. And, if you help a girl out that's working on a farm, she wants an education. Of course it can. But generally, that's not going to happen. They're going to have a job, whatever it might be. And then you might say, listen, you're only making, 6,000 baht a month or something, or 8,000 baht a month after taxes, and you're busting your ass. Just stay home. You can help me. I got things you can do for me, and I'll give you the money. That's what that happens quite often. And if you're gonna do that, that's okay, as long as you know what you're getting yourself into. And by the time I met my wife, I'd already assimilated into the culture, a fair amount. After a few years, it happens. It happens naturally if you'll let it. I still have some American tendencies when it comes to how I live and what I do and what I want to eat. I don't want to eat Thai food all the time, and I don't want to eat cheeseburgers and hot dogs, all the time or really very often. I want to eat a variety of food, but I love Thai food, but I like some American foods, and, I'm not opposed to cooking up a steak or making some wings or whatever it is, So he goes on to say his wife was employed by the provincial government, which, if you're employed by the government, generally that is considered a pretty good job because of all the benefits you get and you're a part of a big team, All of her family members also had decent careers. She nor her family needed my financial support. Boom, there's another attribute that you're looking for. Can take care of themselves. They don't need you in order to prevent themselves from starving. You want to find a girl who can take care of herself, or has potential. She's in school. Like when I met my wife, she was in school, and I thought, hey, she's going to do something with herself. And she has. So, I just step back, go ahead, do your thing, go for it, And most of the time, it doesn't cause us any grief at all. I mean, it has in the past. In the beginning, it was a little bit touchy, well, what are we going to do about this? How are we going to take care of that? And then once the kids started getting older, it was much, much easier. But Western people spend thousands on rings, engagement parties. I mean, how much is spent on the average wedding? It depends on the amount of money. But again, Pierre, you're saying, well, Western people do this. Nobody gives a shit here about what Western people are doing. They don't care. I didn't care. Thais don't care. They don't care. Well, in the West, they do this and they do. No, they care about their own culture. They're not comparing themselves to you, so don't compare your life to their life. I mean, and I personally, I think that spending huge amounts of money on a wedding is pretty stupid. And my wife and I could have done it. We didn't do it. And I was like, okay, cool. I like Vietnamese food as well. And, when was it? It was that the other day when I went to the ancient city, and Longhorns and I went to the Vietnamese restaurant. It was fantastic. That was great food. A lot of women like cut hair. I don't understand what you mean, Richard. A lot of women like cut hair. What I'm getting at is Western people say, oh, you paid for her, or it's disgusting, or you're a fool. Well, yeah, if you're going to compare it like that, then I understand what you're saying. Yes, you're right. And the bottom line is, like, to me, I don't give a shit if somebody likes what I did or not. They don't have to. And if they want to make a stink about it, they can get the fuck out of my life. And I told you guys about the woman who I met in the Olympics who, oh, you're with one of those Thai girls. Oh, believe me, I thought to myself, I'm going to lay into this lady. And basically, I tried to finesse my way through it and try to just hear her out. Oh, really? Oh. And, as it turned out, maybe she was a bitch in the first place. And so when her husband went to Thailand with her, he was, man, as soon as he saw these Thai girls and he got out on his own, he was like, what do I with this old hag for? Women got to understand that as well. It's not always, oh, well, she's Thai. It could be just that you're a bitch and you're hard to live with, or, you're cruel to the guy, or you expect too much, or whatever it is, My wife knew I'd get shit from a lot of people, and I did from some, but whatever. Yeah, and I used to ask her, because when we first got married, there was still a little of the, where Thai people would kind of like see you and go, they'd kind, especially the older people at the time, they would look at you like, and sometimes I would tell my wife, I'd go, that old lady's like staring at us, and she'd go, so? I don't care. Who is she? Yeah, but let them be that way. Maybe what they need to realize is there's a reason why guys go to other countries. And the other thing is, like, listen, okay, so, you're a German woman and you end up with some guy and he's from Sweden. Oh, that's okay? Or he's from America. That's okay? What's the difference? There's no difference. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's their problem. A lot of women like to cut hair. A lot of women like to cut hair like on head. Understand, Scott? I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean, but I have an idea of the gist of what you're saying. I think it's the race difference that pisses them off. Okay, so... yeah, I mean, that's just tough shit. What are we, living back when Hitler's I mean, really. If they don't like it, it's their problem. What's that saying? Which I learned a little while ago because it made sense to me. the way that they think is not any of my concern. You know, let them be that way. I'm waiting to go back home and somebody does something or says something if my wife's around me, because believe me, I'll tear them a new asshole. I don't care who they are. I don't care. I will tear them a new asshole. You know, you want to talk about equality and all these other kind of things in the United States, well then fucking live it. I don't care if it's Germany, America, whatever. If you want to profess to be, you know, that you're not racist, or that you're equal, or that nobody's discriminated against. If you want to profess that, then fucking do it. You know. Otherwise, shut up. It's none of your business, you know. Yeah, it depends on what state you're in. Well, there's a reason why I don't go back to the United States very often. Obviously now it's because of the COVID, but that's going to come to an end in a while, and you know, it'll be much easier to get in here, hopefully. Anyway, let's move on here, because I want to get to his comments. He's got some good comments in here. She has a degree and was financially stable. Her reason for seeking a relationship was that she wanted future companionship and security. Okay, well that's what most women want, but they also want a family. I know that my wife wanted a family, and she knew what was happening. She saw what happens in the village. She's not stupid, you know. She sees the way Thai guys are and stuff. As of yesterday, ceramic cups. And Tian was working yesterday. She gave me the ceramic cup. And then a little bit later, it was after the stream, I had another cup of coffee, an espresso, and Preo gave me a paper cup, and I said, "Paper cup? What is this?" She's, oh, sorry, I'll change it. I said, don't worry about it. I'm easy, you know. We discussed all this before taking the next step, marriage. It is very, very important to know that when marrying a Thai woman, you are marrying her family. If you are not able to develop a relationship with the family, you're going to have issues. Well, you know, there is a saying here that I said the other day, which is marry an orphan if you don't want to deal with their family. And that's a bit harsh, but that's the way that it is. Now, when it comes to, like, my wife's family, my wife handles them. If they ever need anything, which they ask for very, very little, you know, and generally it's along the lines of back in the States or whatever. If, you know, you're a part of the family and you're down on your luck or whatever, your family helps you out a little bit if they can. It's the same thing with her. And, you know, she's only really come to me once, and that was when her mother was in the hospital dying. And you know, that was a little bit different. And, you know, there's no problem with that. Because, you know, it's legitimate. It's you're doing it out of love. You're not doing it out of, you know, well, if I don't take care of this girl, she's not going to stay with me, you know. So yeah, you need to be aware that the family is important, but you also need to be aware that there may be, like, the family might be great, but there might be, you know, the black sheep sister who is constantly bugging your wife for money, or maybe even you. You need to be aware of that, and you need to know how to deal with them, because I've seen it happen in different with different families. Some of my friends. But, you know, most of my friends, to be honest, the ones that have been here for a while, you know, they had their share of problems in the beginning, because they were kind of, it's like wading through a minefield. You get hit once in a while, but, you know, if you come out, you start to learn, oh, there's certain patterns. Oh, this is how I disable or disarm this bomb. You know, and you start to learn how to get through that minefield and what to do in case you come across a mine. I guess that's the best way that I could put it. Over time, you learn. And, if you don't learn, then you're an idiot. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is that one other thing I would say, and this goes for any family, if, like, the sisters are fighting, don't get in the middle of it. Don't start, well, you should do this, you should do that. Just keep your mouth shut. Let them deal with it, because if you say the wrong thing, then she's gonna get pissed at you, or the sister's gonna get pissed at you, or whoever is gonna get pissed off at you, and it might make your life miserable for, a month or a week or whatever it is. But it's better you just keep your mouth and your opinion to yourself, and you see how. And the thing is if you pick the right wife, if you pick the right girl, whether she's girlfriend or wife or whatever it might be, whatever she might be, you pick one that's fairly intelligent, who's not like a little wallflower. She sits there and she's like, I can't tell my sister that, I'm too scared. You don't want that shit. You want a girl who's gonna be like, hey, if I gotta tell somebody something, I'm gonna tell them. It was like, I always wondered, how do they deal with their bosses? Because damn well that in some areas that the bosses are coming on to the women, especially like in offices and stuff like that. Well, hey, listen, if you give me a little Hummer, maybe, I give you that promotion. It'll be an extra, 2,000 baht a week or something. What do you think, honey? Give me a Hummer once in a while. And then the girl's like, some girls they're weak, and they'll be like, oh, well, okay, I guess. You don't want a girl like that, And I'm sure she doesn't want a guy like that either, a guy who's like, so like, I actually knew my ex's sister. I had to divorce, get rid of, my ex's sister was a pain in the ass. Well, we have had very few problems with her family, to be honest. And her mother and father have now passed away. Yeah, I mean, for me it's easy. And I'm kind of lucky because she's a little more westernized, and, she speaks good English. None of this, I like you too much. None of that shit. None of the bar girl English. And so it makes it easy to communicate, and, if I get into a bind, I can tell her something. And if I really can't express something to her that she's going to understand, I just look it up in a dictionary or something, and I get it taken care of. But that doesn't happen very often. Gennaro, I tell you what, you're going to be better off getting a Thai girl right from Thailand as opposed to getting the Thai girl from L.A. I mean, that's how I look at it. You'll be better off if they're here. You're better off if they're here, and then after a few years, you decide, okay, we've been married for a long time, let's go back to the U.S. You'll be better off that way than bringing one from L.A. back to, I don't know. My ex-wife is American, German, Irish. Oh. Americanized Thai girl, no way. Well, there you go. You see what I mean? But I wouldn't call my wife completely westernized, which is great. I got the best of both worlds because she is still very Thai, but she's Western enough to where, like, when we talk to the kids, most of the time we talk if we're all together, we speak in English. If she's around the kids, she might speak in Thai to them. when we go deal with things, you know, sometimes I don't have a problem dealing with going to departments, offices, stores, whatever. I don't have any problem going and communicating with these people. But if it's something really, really important, then I'll either bring her or I'll bring one of my kids, just to make sure that everything is, trusted and verified. I don't know any guys from, well, there might be one or two that has come here with their husband or whatever. But for the most part, all the guys that I know who had Thai girlfriends back in the States and then came over here, the Thai girls eventually left them because of their families and because maybe they felt more comfortable with the Thai guys. Because fortunately between most people who stay married for a long time, there's enough English spoken. It's not perfect English, but they speak good English. I'm not talking about, hello, where you come from, what's your name? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you can carry on a conversation with them. You know, I remember the first time I was on a train, and we were like, where's Alex? My wife and I were like, what happened? Where's Alex? And Nicholas was kind of, just chilling. We're like, where's Alex? And we're like, oh shit. We don't want him falling off the train. We walked a couple booths back, and there's Alex kind of standing there talking to some guy from, I think he was an American. I don't remember. He's either American or British. And he's speaking to him, carrying on a conversation back and forth. And the guy was like, he looks Thai. I didn't know that he spoke English. He speaks very good English. So I was like, oh, well, thank you. But, and Alex was all proud, but I was really proud just because I was like, okay, so he can carry on conversations. And my wife can, Nicholas can. And I think that's also something very important. You got to be able to carry on conversations. And it's good to know some Thai, especially if you're in a relationship. Scott makes cool voices. Yeah, I've heard that before. I'm the only guy in here that hasn't been divorced. Well, I've never been divorced. Knock on wood. There's a lot of recent arrivals in New York City, Jannar, who aren't ruined yet and are new in town and lonely working in the restaurants. Well, that's usually what happens. Or they end up going to university, and they meet a couple of really good-looking young guys, and they get and the next thing you know, they're like, that's it, it's over. They've been changed. They've been turned. They've been turned by the guys, and they've been turned by the university. I've never been married. Well, that doesn't really surprise me, to be honest. And, by the way, Duke Nukem, what I said yesterday when I said about the visa, I said no entry visa. That's one way it's referred to. I believe the better way to refer to it is a visa exemption, okay? Which is another reason why it's not a visa. So I just thought I'd let you know that, because I was talking about terminology being important, and I think the best way to refer to it is a visa exemption, because if you're an American, you're exempt. You don't have to get a visa. In fact, every time that my family's been over here, they have not received visas. They have not applied for visas or got visas. Let's see here. Yes, Pierce. Well, it's just like, you get the new girl at the bar. You get, JOJ, just off the jet. My wife is making curry puff and selling them to the restaurants here, and man, she is killing it. Wow. Yeah, those are good. Those are very good. Listen, my wife has been talking about making some South Thai food for a while, because she's got some really good dishes, and she's been talking about that for a while. I gotta start selling this. I got time, I can do it. I'm like, well, why don't you do it? She's like, I gotta figure everything out. So eventually that'll happen. Who doesn't like eating? You know, most people do. But those curry puffs are great because you can take them on the go. You don't need a bowl. You don't, you just need a little wrapper or whatever. They're fantastic. But let me get back to this. She was employed by the. Okay, here's what another one I wanted to read. I think the USA needs a COE. Jesus Christ. America Pass for ties. For ties? I already messaged the State Department. Entry requirements need to be equal. Oh, good luck with that, dude. That's never going to happen, my friend. In fact, ties don't even have to be tested to get on the plane. So going by the illogical logic, think about that. A Thai person who is vaccinated doesn't have to take a PCR test before they get onto the plane, but you do. Now you get on the plane, they could be positive and give it to you, then you get off the plane and you test positive. And they go about their way, they're positive, they're asymptomatic, they go about their merry way into Thailand, and they never took a test. So you want to talk about, equality, there is no such thing as equality. I hate to tell you that. I was like, oh, that's nice, honey. Make a little pocket cash. She's got a wad in her hand. She said, you need $20? I'll take 100. I'll be surprised if you get a message back, and if you do, it'll be a form letter. You're not in Vietnam, are you now? And the reason I asked that is we haven't seen Andrew Briggs, and for some reason, you sound a little bit naive like he is. Thai people could just walk in over the Mexican border if they want to, and Joe would give them a part of it. Yeah, it's so ludicrous what's going on. I don't even want to know about it, think about it. Okay, let me read this though. This other comment that he made. His wife and my wife and I never went through the clingy, oh T-Rock, you're so handsome. First of all, I only know one or two guys, who their wife or their girlfriend calls them T-Rock. And usually, one of the ones is his girl worked in a bar. The only girls that I personally hear say, oh, T-Rock, they're girls who work in bars. They might say Nalak or something like that, oh, I think Nalak, you're so lovely, it was always a relationship based on common interest and life goals. I am not the exception to the rule. I believe that. The problem is it's like the news. Nobody wants to hear about the little puppy dog that the boy next door who can't see, he got, and it made his day, and made his life. He's so happy now. Nobody wants to hear about that shit. Darkling? You mean darling? They want to hear about, this guy, he murdered 14 people, or look at what Biden is doing. Look at what Trump is doing. Oh my God. Or look at Kim Kardashian. I always say this. Look at Kim Kardashian's big ass. Oh, everybody, what do I care? I don't care. I'm not tapping it. I mean, if I met her, I'd be polite to her. That's all. I wouldn't be rude. Unless she was rude to me, then I would be rude. But, I don't think she would be. I know somebody that met her, a boxing referee, a young guy, fairly young guy. And he said, in person, he said, I couldn't believe how beautiful her skin was and how beautiful she was. He wasn't even talking about her being sexy or her big ass or anything, but he said her facial features, she was very beautiful. And I was like, oh, okay, I can believe that. I have several friends who are happily married to Thai women living in Thailand, and they share my views. Unfortunately, their views are not publicized in forum forums, as the tragedies are more interesting to read about. Yeah, of course, successful marriages are not good for views. Most certainly. Like I said, you're not going to hear about the guy who. You're not going to hear it. I mean, you're not going to. Oh, I met her through my friend, and we started hanging out. We got to be close. We went out a couple of times, and the next thing you know, we were like, should we do this? Oh, okay, why not? And then it worked because you respected each other and you cared about it. You truly cared about each other. Listen, I think anybody who has been married for 20, 30, 50 years, they know there's going to be times when they think their wife could be a royal pain in the ass. And maybe they are a royal pain in the ass to their wife sometimes. Now, if you're just banging a chick and the chick started being a major pain in the ass, you'd be like, listen, I got to go. All right, I'm out of here. And she'd probably do the same thing to you. She might not come back for more, She might go find it somewhere else, who knows. But the difference is that if you marry somebody, you're committed to them and okay, this is just, maybe she's having a bad day, That's how it is. Why is it so difficult for a Thai person to get a visa to come to the United States? Well, when it, if you're talking about people coming in through the border, the southern border, I find it really strange that they will allow people like that to come in whenever they want, but like a Thai person has to, they have to jump through hoops. They really do have to jump through hoops, although I was surprised how easy it was for my wife to be able to get a visa to come in. And this was, pre-COVID, but she did everything herself. I didn't sponsor her. I didn't have to do anything. She has a job. She has kids. You got to have a reason to come back to Thailand, which well, then why don't you have to have a reason to come back from these other countries? Chiraka darling. Local funders are so bad, I can't handle it. Yeah, I can't handle it. I told you, I took the news apps off my phone because the assumption is they won't return to their native country. But they're not going to return to their native country if they're Mexican or Guatemalan and they decide to just march over the border. They're not going to go back. Not if they can help it. The same thing goes with Thais. And I know one Thai in particular that he got deported because he just kept staying because he was making too much money. He didn't want to go back. He was making too much money and he didn't want to go back because he knew, hey, gravy train's going to be over. I've met many Thai women here who have overstayed their visas by years. Yeah, well, there you go. Here in Thailand, you overstay your visa, they'll come looking for you. Or if you overstay your visa and they catch you, that's it, you're done. You are banned. You're going to be banned for at least a year. You can literally fly to Tijuana and walk across. If you get questioned, you say you're seeking asylum for climate change, and they'll let you pass. I don't know if that's true, man. They're usually on an education visa. I don't know why when they have an education visa, they're overstaying. There's really no reason to do that. We talked about this the other day on the stream. My wife had been refused a tourist visa 3 times here in Singapore. The whole process is ridiculous. Yes, that is ridiculous. And I know the guy Steve comes in every once in a while. And he used to be the editor of the Phuket Gazette, and I wrote for that publication. And he's married. He's been married for a long time. He has a daughter with her, and she's a school teacher, and they've denied her. However, this was during the COVID. But so why is it okay to deny Thai people or others, but yet you'll let the South Americans and Central Americans just come rolling in? I really hadn't thought about that too much, but what is the reason for that? It just makes no sense to me. Hey, listen, guys, do me a favor. Leave a thumbs up if you'd be so kind. I'd appreciate that. It doesn't cost you a dime to do that. Just leave a thumbs up, and if you can, remember to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I'd appreciate it very much. Supposedly helps with the algorithm. And then if you want to get a shirt or whatever, look down in the description. Everything is right there, how you can support the channel. Guys who vote Republicans like Cubans, that's probably the reason. You assume so many things, man. How do you know that? And so what if they do? The bottom line is freedom is about choosing who you want. Just because you don't choose who somebody likes or who somebody wants doesn't mean that that person should not be allowed into the United States. That's just crazy, man. I don't necessarily disagree with your assumption. I think, I do, however, think that when you look at the way things are, democracy is a fallacy. Thais are smarter and understand communists better than Americans. They tend to vote conservative, Central American, Mexican. Well, I understand that, yes. We're the ones who helped you in. We're the ones who allowed you to be here. We're the ones paying you money and taking care of you and doing this and doing that. And, therefore, hey, don't forget to vote for us. And that way we'll always be in power. And this is another thing. First of all, if you got nothing to give, if you can't demonstrate that you can take care of your family legally, or that you can earn money in the country, why are you letting them in? Yeah, this is why I don't really want to talk about the United States, because I'm done with it. I don't want to think about it because I don't want it to get to me. I don't want it to piss me off. I don't want it to irritate me. I don't want to think about it. I don't give a shit. Now, when it comes to time to vote, then I'll care a little bit. But right now, I can't do a damn thing about anything. Well, when I get to that bridge, then I'll worry about it. Until then, I'm not worrying about it. I don't exist in fear, and I don't want to exist in fear. Oh my God, there's climate change. The next big thing is going to be climate change. They're going to lock everything down. If they do, they do. If I can do something about it, I'll do something about it. If I can't, I'm not going to fucking worry about it. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm thinking about, I just want to make it. You love the music? I'll make sure I put a good word in for you, Richard, here at Starbucks. All the girls know they have a fan club here, but the boss doesn't know that they got one guy who in the chat here who really likes the music. So on Monday, the New York City employees' vaccine mandate goes into effect. No vax, unpaid leave on Monday. Yeah, again, it's not really that I don't care. It's I don't want to think about it. I really don't. I don't want to think about it. I'm thinking about stuff like I'm a little more self-centered than that. Thinking about my family. I'm thinking about how many more years till the magic number. I'm thinking about taking a rafting trip. I'm thinking about trying to buy a raft. What's the name of the raft? I'm thinking about things like that. I'm thinking about where am I gonna go? Are we gonna go to Pattaya this week? I'm thinking about those things. I'm not worried about all that other shit. Right now, the Chowderhead is ahead of Up to You, which actually, I don't particularly like Chowderhead. be honest. You got 10 votes, and Chowderhead is 4 of the 10. Up to You is 3 of the 10. Illogical Logic is 2 of the 10, and SS Farang is 1, and they call me Farang 0. Oh, I'm definitely on board to that. Don't think too much. Where do we vote for the name again? Just go to the the community tab on my channel, which is, I'll put that up. There you go. SS Gig. No. I'm not going to put anything that people look at it and go, ugh, you know, I don't know, maybe I could put rock, juke, what is it? Rock, juke. Isn't that what Chuck says all the time? It irritates the shit out of me. I would put that up, but I'm not gonna. Is there any dangerous animals in that river? Water snakes. Well, there are a shitload of snakes. So that's something to think about. And insurance for that kind of a trip is important. That's another thing. And then there are crocodiles in some areas, but they are critically endangered. So I don't think we're going to have many problems with those. I think if we saw one, we'd be lucky. Who said they're full of snakes? I said there are a lot of snakes in Thailand. There's snakes all over the place. There's snakes in Bangkok. There's cobras in Bangkok. There's pythons in Bangkok. There are tigers in Thailand, but the chance of an Asiatic tiger sprinting out of the brush where we're going through and pulling us off of a boat is, I don't know what, the percentage is very, very small that could happen. My MIL just killed a big-ass green pit viper at my place. Yeah, I mean, there are some gnarly snakes in Thailand, and I would say that the gnarliest of them are probably in southern Thailand. But I mean, you know, I could be on a river and there could be a snake hanging from a tree, and I just bang into him, and that's it. But I mean, you know. But yes, there are tigers, and supposedly the number of tigers has been going up, especially with the virus and the limited number of people that go into the jungles. Now it seems like they've had a resurgence. We all love you. Snakes love you. Richard, don't make me laugh, man. The snakes love me too. Yeah, is he still there? I didn't know. I should actually, I reached out to him many years ago, probably about 8 years ago. And I said, what is this? Do you know what the snake is? And there's a video that I have up. It's one of the first videos. And it's just of a green tree snake eating a takal, a lizard. And I asked him, is this thing poisonous? Well, it is poisonous, but basically to lizards. You know, maybe it would make you sick if it bit you, but it wouldn't kill you. And he helped me out, and you know, he's into snakes. I'm not like a big snake guy. I respect them. I know to respect them. I know about animals. I know a fair amount about animals and how they operate, how they, you know, and you know, I respect them. And, you know, I try to have enough knowledge to where if I come across one, I'll be okay. You know, you have a better chance of being killed by an elephant than a tiger. Yeah, that's true. Do you know about poisonous centipedes? I do know that they have one particular type or more here in Thailand, but I've only seen one of those 1 or 2 times. And, you know, it's not like they're going to run after you and attack you. I got stung by a tarantula wasp. Holy shit. Crazy. Hawaii has a centipedes also. Very painful bites from what I've heard. Yeah, I mean, there are some things listen, Jesus Christ, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I haven't even bought the goddamn boat yet. You know, hey, you want to help? Start contributing. That's how you do it. Okay, because I got mouths to feed. I got shit to pay for. I'm trying to figure this out. You're talking about really? You're talking about an expedition that'll probably end up costing about $4,000 to $5,000. That's what it'll cost. And if I'm lucky, I'll be able to come up myself with $2,500. And if I got to do it, earn as I go, well, the trip stops when I stop earning, I guess. I don't know. But, the boat alone is almost $2,000. And so if I can find a used one, that would help a lot. But, you're talking, there's a lot of things to consider. This is big, man. I mean, this is a pretty big thing for me. And then I was thinking, Jesus Christ, if I ever did the Mekong, that would be huge. And there's another one in the Irrawaddy that in Myanmar, and just logistically and politically, that might be a bit of a stretch to be able to do that. I don't know, and I'm trying to find, has anybody ever done these things? The Mekong people have gone down. I've never seen anybody, I don't see any videos of anybody doing a trip from northern Thailand all the way down to the Gulf of Thailand. You could start your own rafting tour company. Oof. Yeah, I don't know about that. Let's not get carried away, Gennaro. I want to go and do some rafting. I've only done a little bit in my life. I mean, there's just a huge consideration is, okay, yesterday I found, you know what, where is that? Let me put this up because this was the first thing I've seen in a while. Let's see here. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you've heard, but La Lisa is not going to be in Phuket. She's unavailable. So here they are again. They come out, oh yeah, we're gonna get Aunt Andrea Bocelli and we're gonna get La Lisa and we're gonna, oh yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. No, it's not, because she's not even available. So they jumped the gun again. Let me see if I got this video here. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, so here we go. Thank you, Mr. Newcomb. Thank you, Choke D. All right, now, there are parts of this video, if you click on that link, there are parts of this video. This is like my favorite all-time explorer. The next one is Levison Wood, and then there's another guy, I can't remember the guy's name right now. It's not Alistair or whatever, but if you click on that link, there are parts of this that are from his expeditions. There's like the, what is it called? Capricorn, was it circumnavigating the globe? There's the Rainbow Expedition. There's little parts of it in this video. And there are other parts of it that are just parts that are like commercials. Because he's sponsored by Land Rover. All right, Pierre, take it easy. Thanks for all the commentary and the info. It's good to get other views, My Western female friends prefer my Thai wife better than me now. Look upon me as her handbag. Yeah, when my wife went home and she was cooking food, my father said to me, hey, she seems pretty good to me. She seems all right, She cooks, she's polite, she's very nice, she looks good, and, what else do you need? And I was like, I haven't got any problems, And she can cook when she wants to. Anyway, in this video, you will see a section where he's with about 6 other guys on a raft. They're going rafting down someplace, and he wasn't as old back then. His wife was still alive, and that's a little different. That's just straight whitewater rafting. And, you know, one of the things, Gennaro, I will tell you this, one of the things that I am a little bit concerned about is that, you know, you don't have a motor, you might find yourself in a position where you're gonna need one and you're like going, shit, I wish I had a motor. The other thing though is if you have a motor on the boat, then, you know, you're gonna have to worry about it hitting the bottom, and so there's gonna be some areas that are gonna be very shallow. You're gonna have to lift it up, and you're gonna have to constantly be aware of this kind of stuff, and I don't know if that would be good to have it. But then the other thing is that, you know, if you're just rowing, it's gonna take a hell of a lot longer. You know? So, you know, there's things to think about. Always things to think about. But let me finish up with this comment here, if I can find it. My schedule prevents me from watching your streams live. I retire in 5 weeks and would like to be part of a stream and have an open discussion with other viewers, as I have stories of success and failure. Yeah, I mean, you know, this is the thing. I'm always talking about, oh, be careful and don't be a chowderhead. You know, I've been doing that for years. The thing is, though, is that if you just use your head, don't only think with your pecker, because I know it's easy. You're like, oh my God, you know, what you do to me, you know? Could you put a fantail motor? You mean like an airboat? I don't know that that would work, man. I don't know. I guess you could do anything, but you know, the other thing is getting the goods. You know, I mean, like, if you got to do a lot, this is something this is why I need to do the research, because I don't know how many areas are, you know, going to be like grade 1, grade 2, or 3 or 4. Yeah, you're talking about a longtail boat. You couldn't get a longtail boat. I don't know that I want one of them freaking motors. Yeah, I don't know that I want one of those. It'd be a lot harder to fix than a regular outboard motor. Not only that, but I worry about, you know, knowing me, I might accidentally drop the propeller at the wrong time, and it'll bounce off of a rock and come back and like slice my head off or something, you know. So I think one of his points is that a lot of people, like in forums, and I believe he may be speaking of Thai Visa, it's all about, well, as long as you got the money, she'll be happy. Well, really? I got to tell you, some of the girls, they got money. What makes them happy is not necessarily that you just say, oh, honey, I'm going to buy you dinner tonight, or I'm going to give you, you know, 50,000 baht. I mean, you know, they may be happy, but that's not what's going to make the relationship work. You know, because the bottom line is, especially like if you're running around sticking your dick in all kinds of women, most Thai women, they don't want to know about it, and if you get caught, that's it. Forget about it, man. You never hear the end of it, and they will. You always got to worry about them giving it to the duck, if you know what I mean. So there you go. But yeah, La Lisa will not be able to attend the New Year countdown event in Phuket. South Korea entertainment agency YG Entertainment made it clear on Thursday, referring to the news that La Lisa Manoban, she sounds like Rosanna Dana. La Lisa Manoban, she is cute. She's confirmed that she will participate in the New Year countdown event in Thailand. We are very grateful and honored that such a proposal has appeared, but unfortunately, Lisa will not be able to attend the event. We hope there is no confusion. Earlier, the TAT with the private sector had hoped to have Lisa grace Phuket's New Year's countdown. Thank you very much, Interstellar Wolf. Choke D, appreciate that. Some of this countdown in a move to promote the province as a world-class destination. I don't know, but there's how many? Let me ask you this, all right? And I don't mean to be a smartass. We had a Zodiac with a 10 horsepower engine at work. Great, yeah. There you go. You know, listen, most of them are only rated for 6 to maybe 15, something like that. But I've seen some with like 2.6. And that might be okay for a river. I don't know. I'm going to have to do a little more research. A minefield, it settles with time. You figure it out over time, you know. All right, what the hell was I saying here? Oh, La Lisa. Oh, a world-class destination. Now, yeah, I looked at them the other day, but I don't know that they're the kind of boat that's going to work on a river. We're not talking about it like the Chao Phraya only. We're talking about places that have a lot of rocks. That is, there's a lot of white water, and so you're going to need a different. You're going to need a boat that will work for both areas. Let me see here. What the hell? What exactly are they thinking when they say that this is going to make them a world-class destination? I understand that a lot of people love La Lisa and Blackpink. I understand that. Okay, but the demographic of people that they're looking for, in my opinion, they're looking for these higher-end tourists and higher-end expats, people that they want 200,000 people a year who are going to be high-end expats who are they're going to have $1 million or so to spend on some kind of a program that they want so that they can live here in Thailand. And how many people in the demographic of Blackpink and Lisa are going to have that kind of money? And then they're going to want to spend it in Thailand and live in Thailand. Andrea Bocelli, because he's an older guy, I would say he attracts an older type of crowd, and therefore maybe he will attract some people, but 200,000 a year, I don't see it. And I'm really trying to give them some leeway here. I just don't see it happening. Here is the Zodiac boat. Yeah, these are generally not the kind of. Okay, here we go right here. This is a rib, tender. Well, this one might work. Yeah, but this is no, that's yeah, that might work. The Tender Cadet, the electric open. Wow, that would be trip. Now I know that this is not in the $2,000 range, but I'll take a look here. What is this? E-Jet yacht line. Don't need a yacht line. I understand they are. What I'm saying is I don't know that they will work in what basically amounts to being a creek or a canal that is very shallow. I don't know that they're going to work, but I'm looking. Well, think about it, Gennaro. There are parts of these river or the Ping River that you may be able to. It may be very narrow. It may be difficult to get through. And if you need some more clearance, this one, the Cadet, it looks all right here. But what are we talking about for dough? They don't want to tell you. They know they'll scare a guy like me away. Oh, ask for a quote. Come on. Zodiac Cadet price. How much does it cost? $1,291. Zodiac inflatable boat. Let me see here. think I saw this one already. The Zodiacs, they start here. The roll up. This is a 6'7" boat, which is not enough. It's not big enough. That's $1,012. They're all 6. Okay, the 8 foot. That's $1,270. Let me see what's on this one. It weighs 64 pounds. I don't know that this is the best type of boat, but I don't know. I have to look. You know, this is what I mean. It's like I can look at 50 different boats. I have to start writing them down and figuring it out, and then I got to figure out, okay, when do I want to buy it by? How much is it going to cost? Capacity, three plus one persons, or 816 pounds, which is you can have 3 people. Comfortably, big guys, 3 big guys, 200 pounds each. You can have some gear and everything, and you don't want to max it out. So, anyway, you know, they're pricey, man. Here's the tender. What is this thing? Yeah, they don't tell you the prices on it, so I got to search for all the prices. I'm not going to do that right now. Oh, this has got a motor on it. E-Jet. Oh, there we go. Jet propulsion. I can guarantee you that's not going to be $1,200. Yeah, this is, anyway, all right, well, whatever. So hopefully Jim will make it into the stream at some point, or he'll just keep commenting. If you're listening, Jim, thank you very much. Appreciate those comments. I know what he means. You know, a lot of guys who they've run through girl after girl after girl. They believe, you know, like, oh, come on. If you're not rich, you're not going to get one of those. And it's just bullshit. If you know what you're doing and you have a fair amount of money. I'm not rich, right? But, you know, I do take care of the monthly bills. And you know, we have our arrangement, and it works. It's worked for 21 years, so that must say something, you know. And there's a saying here in Thailand, and I don't know that it's always true, but you know, some Thai girls are not real affectionate. They don't, oh baby, I love you so much, oh honey, oh. They just don't do that. And you know, I asked, why is it like that? And my wife and several other girls have said to me, well, you know, if she's with you and she ain't leaving you and she's not screwing around on you, she probably figures that alone should show you that, you know, that she cares about you, or whatever it might be. Now, you know, usually you have to get that point across at some point if you're going to be with the person for a long time. You know, it's, well, I've never heard a guy say, well, she's never told me she loved me. If that happens, then she probably doesn't love you. Anyway. All right, what is this here? Oh, I got to tell you about this. I thought this was pretty funny. Yeah, dark skin is commonly associated with economic status. That's why I don't understand why people pay money to intentionally darken their skin. They don't do it here. So, you know, what are you talking about now? They do it in America, but America is not Thailand. Again. Well, you know, I would like to make a bamboo raft. I think that would be awesome. I just don't trust myself enough, and I don't know if I can get it done by somebody, and I don't know if it would hold up. You know, would it hold up? I don't know. I have looked at that, and what's good about that is you can make a cover for the thing to where you're protected from the sun, and you could actually sleep on the thing, which is pretty good. But other than that, I don't really know. I want to see how they built it. You know, isn't there a place here that will build it for you? You pay them, they give you the bamboo, they build it for you, and you know, you're not going to get. And the other thing is, I don't want to get soaking wet all the time because, you know, you don't want to be sitting in water the whole trip. So that's something to think about. But yeah, I would like to do that, Michael Hansen, believe me. And I am going to ask. I'm going to ask some people with rafting companies and stuff like that what they can do. Generally here, if people are very dark, they're assumed to be farmers, rice farmers or whatever, and thus more poor. This has changed a little bit over time. They're not quite as bad as they used to be, but still, it's ridiculous sometimes how they're treated. And you know, when you look at some of them, you can't really tell. You look and you go, oh, she's pretty white, but then, like, you see more of her and you're like, she's not that white. She's pretty dark, actually. You know. But I mean, in the United States, people want to be dark because they are white. There are a lot of Caucasians that pay big money to be tanned, and they like that look. Maybe that's why people from the United States or Caucasians from other Western countries, they like to be with women that are darker or Asian women because they got different skin than them. You know? I don't think what you're saying is anything that, you know, this is, I don't understand why people pay money to intentionally darken their skin. Well, they don't do it here. That's the thing. So what are you talking about? Anyway, where am I at? Oh, I wanted to talk about this before we close out. We got one more segment here, and this is about who are the world's worst tourists. I'll give you one guess, and they're not Americans. They are not Americans. Oh, by the way, if anybody knows of any kind of script or, I know there's apps, but scripts or whatever, websites or something like that, where I can input whatever money is going into this project, this expedition. I can input it and it will show like a graph where the money's going up or whatever for the next couple of months. It'll show a certain month and how much I earned in that month and how much I got in this month. And then, or just like a thermometer or whatever. If anybody knows or finds something like that, please let me know. I'd appreciate that. Chinese are numero uno. Yes, they are the worst tourists, according to, well, let me just go on here and read this article from Bangkok Jack. As Thailand and the rest of the world prepare to reopen their doors after the great panic of 2020-2021, we remind ourselves of what to expect and just who are the world's worst tourists. There was a time when what happened on tour stayed on tour, not anymore. I don't know that there really ever was a time. Smartphones have changed the game, allowing holidaymakers and hosts to capture and upload clips of shocking behavior to social media sites in glorious HD. Hey, Carlos, how you doing? Hello, Carlos. Then there are travel companies that gleefully divulge examples of nationally ranked naughtiness. According to a survey by Hotels.com, Argentinians are most likely to steal items, not including toiletries, from their rooms. Sticky-fingered Singaporeans took silver, so to speak, while Hong Kongers were among the most trustworthy hotel guests. But which nationality horrifies locals the most and leaves fellow citizens cringing with embarrassment at their antics? In no particular order, let the crude stereotyping begin. Oh, it says no particular order. But I'm going to start at number 10, even though it's no particular or number whatever it is. Well, number 7, it says the worst tourist of all. Ask a hotel receptionist, taxi driver, or bartender who they think are the most irritating, unpleasant, and demanding holidaymakers, and there's a good chance it won't be any of the nationalities listed above. In provincial Thailand, hotel employees tense up when self-important sightseers from Bangkok arrive in fancy 4x4s, shouting orders and showing off. I believe they're speaking of the natives. Likewise, taverna owners in peaceful Greek islands dread it when affluent day trippers from Athens show up, start bossing staff around, and noisily dispute bills. So there you have it. The worst behaved are often domestic tourists. Remember that, all you city folk, on your next outing to Shek O or Sai Kung. Life's still under the weather from the second shot, but getting better. Well, that's good. The worst tourists are actually, the locals. So if you're in Thailand, it would be Thais. Well, hello, Melvin. Let me go to number 6, Russians. Russian tourists are the unsmiling masters of the cultural faux pas and practitioners of the no one likes us, we don't care approach to travel. While there are worse misdemeanors, the Russian Foreign Ministry decided things were serious enough for them to produce a tourism etiquette brochure offering helpful tips that include refrain from prodding Kenyans and calling them monkeys. It's pretty bad. A falling ruble is translated into fewer Russians hitting the road in recent times. In some places, they're starting to be missed. A couple years back, a Sri Lankan told me that he found Russians surly, impolite, and prone to getting wildly drunk and smashing up hotel furniture. His views weren't unusual. 42% of Russians believe their compatriots are the worst behaved tourists. I've only met one. In Khao Sok, I met one particular guy, and he was just being an asshole. He's screaming at the monkeys out we're in a jungle tour, and he's screaming at them, and obviously he had a few too many vodkas first thing in the morning. And finally I said something. I said something like, "Shut the fuck up." And everybody stopped. And then later on, I tried to be nice to the guy because he was like, "Oh, my arm hurts. I need some Muay Thai oil." And I go, "You get some right over there." And he's like, "Why do you care?" And I was like, I guess I don't, when I think about it. When we spoke recently, the same man ruefully admitted he was starting to feel the economic impact of their absence and wanted to know how long it would be before the ruble bounced back. All I know about Aussies, I don't really have many problems in my life. I've never had really any major problems with Aussies. They do like to drink, but then so do a lot of people, so what does that matter? Number 5, Israelis. Israeli travelers are renowned for being rude, impatient, noisy, and high on drugs, according to Yael Miller, writing in the Tel Aviv-based newspaper Haaretz. The knockoff effect of arguing about the price of rooms and cheating hoteliers, she explains, is that some establishments have unofficial no Israeli policies. I gotta laugh. Such behavior does little to improve the nation's international image or make life any easier for Israelis, laments a Lonely Planet Travel Forum contributor. Well, that's a bit of a stretch. One of the worst feelings when traveling is checking into a hotel, showing your passport, and seeing the friendly welcome the friendly welcome instantly evaporate. I got that story that I've told a couple times about the Israelis I met in Kanchanaburi. Hang on a second. Girls say Russians are so cheap. The hotels I stayed in Hong Kong didn't like mainland Chinese guests. They are wild. Unpack their luggage in the lobby and hang clothes from chandeliers. Well, I guess it depends on who you're referring to, because I did meet a couple that they were actually mainlanders who traveled back and forth, and so they were like, what's the problem with the mainlanders? But then I remember vividly the girl that worked at the the girl that worked at the coffee shop. She was quite helpful to me in many ways about Hong Kong, and I asked her, I said, she goes, listen, don't call me Chinese. I'm Hong Kong. I said, okay, no problem. She goes, I don't spit on the ground. I don't shit out in public on the floor or on the ground. She's like, I have a little bit of class. She's like, mainlanders don't. She was vehement about this, and she wasn't mad at me, but she was just vehement about, don't ever confuse me with that, and she just hated it. We don't spit, we don't shit, we don't, do so many things that they do. They're very rude and obnoxious and uncultured. That was her opinion as a Hong Konger. I'm just saying what I was told. Laying in bed, H&R's, take a ship, Australians, Chinese, LOL Spaceman. Okay. The Malin expedition is now hiring galley slaves. I don't need no I don't need any slaves. Listen, we're gonna have, if I get it together, we'll get Longhorns, we'll have me, and then maybe we'll have one other person, I don't know if it's big enough, or maybe we'll just have a person who goes, 50 kilometers and somebody else who goes 40 or 60 or whatever, a couple of days. Maybe we'll get some people to meet up with us or something, I don't know. Maybe that'll happen. It's way too early to talk about that right now, though. First, I have to put the whole thing together. And I've got a lot of information that I've gathered, but I need to really nail everything down and come up with prices and whether or not it's possible to go certain ways that I think we can go. There's so much to do, really. Where the hell was I? Well, I already went to the Israelis. Oh, number 4, Americans. Far more accomplished at hosting tourists than being tourists. The stereotypical. Where'd that come from? Far more accomplished at hosting tourists than being tourists? I'm insulted. The stereotypical American vacationer thinks everyone should do everything his way. That's because my way is the right way. I'm joking. And if they don't, the answer is usually to throw a fistful of dollars around until they do. Who wrote this? Fortunately, the loud know-it-all who disrespects local culture and dresses like a professional golfer on acid, once known as the ugly American. Well, I take offense at being a rude American. I may be a little bit loud at times, and I might be ugly at times. Physically, I might not be all that great looking, but I don't think I'm ugly. A term that derived from the title of the 1948 photo of a rotund tourist in Cuba is a disappearing breed. Thank you. So in other words, the ugly American is a thing of the past, basically. Number 3, Germans. Ah, the Germans. Who else could carry off the beer belly and skimpy Speedos look? That's pretty funny. Who else would want to? Yeah, not me. The Brits must have discovered how to feign the symptoms of food poisoning, but the sunbed snagging Germans have turned complaining into an art form. Rules are rules, and if the menu is monotonous or a bedroom lacks the terrace shown in the brochure, a claim for compensation is likely to follow. Titanic tourists take their holidays so seriously it's hard to tell if they're actually having fun, said Andrew Eames, a travel website. Germany is wunderbar, adding that the eagle-eyed Germans don't miss a thing except perhaps the scenery. That's pretty funny. Let me see something here. What? If I meet a girl I do not want to talk to, I just tell her that I'm Russian. They disappear quickly. No English. No English. No English. Sorry. No English. Where do you come from? Estonia? You know Estonia? Estonia. We speak Estonian. We speak. All right, now, number 2, British. British tourists are polite, friendly, and considerate, but ply them with a few drinks and they'll be running naked through the streets at no time. Who the hell wrote this? Oh, it was Bangkok Jack. Oh, God, it's funny. Some have perfected the inebriated hotel balcony to pool jump, while others could pick a fight with their own shadow. The mayor of Croatian resort island Hvar, fed up with loutish British tourists, last week announced fines of €700, that's $800 for those caught drinking alcohol in public. Also this month, Portuguese police fired shots in the air to quell rioting British clubbers. The next headline-grabbing episode of debauchery is only an all-you-can-drink sangria session away. While the more boisterous Brits tend to be teenagers, they're not alone in giving the country a bad name. A food poisoning scam that involves claiming compensation from hotels for bogus illnesses have reached epidemic proportions in Spain and other European countries. One couple who allegedly suffered stomach cramps and severe diarrhea. You want to go in my bathroom? You want to go see my diarrhea? I'll show you if you want, but you're going to be sorry. They were rumbled when it was discovered they had enjoyed 109 alcoholic drinks during their holiday. One couple who allegedly suffered stomach cramps and severe diarrhea were rumbled when it was discovered they had enjoyed 109 alcoholic drinks during their holiday. That's freaking hilarious. It is, because I'm on the outside looking in. I know the residents of Amsterdam aren't thrilled with the Brits' bad behavior. Really? We're all familiar with the airport check-in desk meltdowns, assaults on cabin crew, and vandalism at archaeological sites, not forgetting a propensity to urinate in public places. And I've seen it, urinate and shit, and in the airport. And who hasn't thrown a few coins in jet engine just for good luck? However, it's also fair to point out that a whopping 122 million Chinese made outbound trips in 2017, and the overwhelming majority of these flag-following sightseers don't put a foot wrong. Ironically, Chinese tour groups may end up being the saviors of the holiday industry in some parts of the world. They're already helping to prop up destinations such as Egypt, Turkey, and Tunisia that have suffered downturns in the aftermath of terrorist attacks. Now, I wanted to just say one more. And I don't know specifically where they're from, but I know some were from Nigeria. But I used to see all these African guys. They used to play this fucking game with the check-in agents at airports and also in hotels. It's kind of like what he was talking about with the if you see a balcony in the brochure and then you don't get a balcony, you start bitching and moaning. It was kind of like that. It was, I'm supposed to get a better price. They didn't give me the right price, and why am I? You need to give me a discount. And I want to sit by the window. If I can't sit by the window, then, you know, I already checked and I was supposed to get the window. Well, sir, we don't show anything that shows that. It's not in our records that you chose the window because you have to pay extra for that. Why I have to pay extra? You know, that kind of thing. I've seen that quite a bit, although I haven't seen it in many years. But I used to see it all the time, so maybe they're farther down the list now. I don't know. But that's what I remember. The worst tourists. I said you're a Taiwanese to a Taiwanese baccarat dealer in Las Vegas, and she said, how do you know? And the Chinese players left the table. It's weird that I can tell the difference. Yeah, I guess. I guess it's weird. Like, I can tell the difference between Japanese and Chinese and Koreans and Thais and Vietnamese. I mean, I can tell the difference. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it very much. You know, I want to make it clear, if you do want to contribute towards some kind of a trip, whatever the trip may be, whatever the trip ends up being, because it might not be the Ping River, it might be the Nan River or something like that into the Chao Phraya, hopefully, the whole way. If you do end up making a contribution and you want it to go specifically for the trip, then let me know that. Put a little note and I will set that aside specifically for the trip. It's a bit funny, some resorts with pool in Pattaya, you find posters in Chinese, please no shit. Yes, you're not supposed to shit in the laundry basket. It's not a toilet. And especially don't take a dump in the pool while I'm doing laps. That's so disgusting. Oh, they're opening up now. Not a huge number of people, but there's a few. It is a Friday. Oh yeah, so Friday they should be opening up the door, I think. I don't know. Maybe not because it's not a holiday. Yeah. And I forgot to say, but thank you to whoever it was that bought a couple t-shirts yesterday. I sold 3 t-shirts yesterday, which is nice. Thank you to whoever that was, or I think it was 2 people. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hello, hello. Sawadee Kap. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be opening up the whole mall yet, but that's how it goes. So anyway, let me see something here. Let's see. I get any more votes here? 19 votes. Son of a bitch. We got 11% illogical logic, which I like that, but I don't know if it. I would rather just have illogical. Chowderhead is 47%. SS Farang is 11%. And Up to You is 32%. So it looks like Chowderhead and Up to You are going to take the first round. I'm going to pick 2. And it's just going to keep going on and on until I do it. And there's a lot to do, you know? A lot to do with this. I said it yesterday, I've been doing some exercises every day, walking and push-ups and sit-ups and a little bit of stretching, and I'm gonna slowly bump it up every week. Stretching, I think, is really important. To be on a raft. I mean, you know, I looked at most of the trips and they're like 3 hours, 2-3 hours, with some of them being 6 hours, and then a couple of them being overnight trips. So interesting, you know, because I'm not real experienced at this. I've been on a couple rafts, and I've, you know, done the inner tube thing and going down the rivers and stuff like that. But hopefully it'll all come together. All right, we got the La Lisa out of the way. La Lisa. Sorry, guys, no La Lisa for you guys. What is this? They're targeting 1 million tourists during the season from November to March. The TAT is expecting at least 50% of the revenue generated in 2019, around 2 trillion baht, and at least 80% of the revenue earned in 2019 for the year 2023. So maybe that'll happen. Before the pandemic, Thailand received nearly 40 million foreign visitors who spent 1.9 trillion baht in 2019. Thank you very much, Mr. Danny. Appreciate that. Choke deed to you. Good deal. Let's see here. All right, so everything's about the same here with the entry and just know that the SSC coconut, but I'm on the river. I'm only on the, I would only be on the ocean for just a limited period of time. So I don't know that that'll work. How about the lime in the coconut? What's the name of that song? Get the lime in the coconut, you shake it all about. I said, doctor, woo woo. Yeah, remember that song? The Bismarck, fuck off, Gennaro. Gennaro, come on, man. Give me something good. Wait a second while I share an educational, what is this? An educational video. Thank you, Thank you, Mr. Gennaro. Thank you very much. I will set that aside. Thank you. Choke D to you. Choke D. Appreciate that. An educational video. I'm waiting for the educational video. The Mipe and Ride. I like that one. How about Giant Yen? Suksan, one good. No, that's just no. Mipe and Ride. That's a pretty good one. You could put that in Thai. It's the name of my boat. Listen, I don't particularly like the chowder head. I don't like it. I have the final say, unfortunately. But SS Chimai? What's that supposed to be? What's that for Chiang Mai? I love that you guys are coming up with names, but I'll be honest, whether I think, you know, if a name sucks, it sucks, or a name is good, it's good. I'll be honest with that. So yeah, before I go, let's actually It's not Chai Mai. I'm gonna spell it for you. That's Tik Tok Tong. Not Chiang Mai. Jesus Christ. Chai Mai. I think that's what you're trying to say. Yeah, that's Mei Chai. Where's the Chiang Mai? Okay, here we go. Got a little jazz here. John will probably like this. Okay, นี่รถยนต์ของคุณใช่ไหม? This is your car, isn't it? It's more like isn't it or don't you or something like that. That's what you're talking about. It's Chai Mai. If that's what if that's what you mean, I'm not completely sure, but I think that's what you're trying to say, which is it's chai is just yes. Where are we here? Yeah, there we go. This is it right here. Actually, this is what I'm looking for. Where the hell's it at? Damn it, they make it such a pain in the ass here. Yeah, what happened? Oh, here we go. Let me see if I can do this. Come on. Kineao. I don't think that one would go over. I think it would be better to put Jai D. Yeah, I know about the Baby Ruth thing in the pool. That was wonderful. Excuse me, this is the main post office, isn't it? ขอโทษครับ นี่ไปรษณีย์กลางใช่ไหม? Yeah, this is the main post office, isn't it? So that's how you would say it. I thought that's what you meant, but I wasn't sure. ขอโทษครับ นี่ไปรษณีย์กลางใช่ไหม? ชีขี้โนดใช่ไหมครับ? Anyway, Thai can be a little tricky. Sea monkey or sea ling? Yeah, I don't think it's going to work because I'm not at sea. But thank you. You know, I mean, it would be better to be like river monkey. And I'm not sure if that works the way, if I was to write it in Thai, I don't know how that would work. You know, because it doesn't always translate in the same way. So far, I think, to be completely honest, I like the one that I just saw a little while ago. Where is it? I like Mipe and Rye. And I really like Up to You. Up to You. Welcome, please come inside. Oh, God. The SS Kineao. Cheers. I think it would be better to be Aragarai. Yeah, that's a good one. Araigadai is a good one. God, I gotta write these down, man. You're coming up with too many good ones. Araigadai is good. It just means like whatever. You know, so that's a good one going down the road. Whatever, Araigadai. It's pretty good. But we're a little ways away. Now, if Longhorns doesn't want to go, I'll go on this trip as soon as I raise the funds, and as soon as I make the funds, as soon as I have the funds, I will go as soon as possible. But I want him to go. And if he's laying in bed listening, you're going. You gotta go. You have to do it. I understand a boat is a she, but you can call it other things as well. For example, Tony Soprano's boat was the Bada Bing. You don't have to call it by a woman's name. I don't like Longhorns. No, I don't like it. It's not gonna work. Nobody knows what the hell that is. I mean, really, the only people who are gonna know are the people watching the stream. The people that, when you're going down a river, no one's gonna know. If you're gonna name it a name, you know, you don't generally call it the David Livingston, ex-Thai military infantry. That's a good idea, man. What was the boat called in Jaws? The Orca. I didn't know that. I like the movie Orca with Bo Derek in it. That was interesting. Dutlin. I don't know if that's what I think it is, but Michael, I'm not going to be putting that on a boat. If it was Poodlin, that's a little different. Gennaro, you're off on a tangent now. Let me see here. Oh, this is Rib Thai. Wow, they got a website. And of course, service temporarily unavailable. So you go to their website and they don't even have a freaking website that works. This Asus multi-purpose rib boat is an 8 meter. 8 meters? Holy shit, man, that's a big boat. That's way too big. Bodie McBoatface was for yet over Booty Mc... I'm not putting anything nasty or stupid or just... I mean, it can be funny, but like Booty McButtface? No. Yeah, same, but different. It's a little long. I mean, same would be better, but that one's used all the time, you know, in all kinds of, you know, the same bar. And all right, let me look at this here. Yeah, this is what, I mean, it's a good idea there, Danny, but I'll show you something. And if you go down a little ways, you'll see it. It's a bit too big for... I think it's a bit too big. If you put a Raiwa, you'd be driving, you'd be going through places, and everybody in the village would see a Raiwa. And that wouldn't bode too well, in my opinion. You want to go with, stay with polite. The Love Boat. I don't know, my wife would like that. You're going on the Love Boat with Mr. Longhorns and some other person that you're just meeting up with? I don't like that name. I mean, it's funny, but it's better than Bodie McButtface. Booty McButtface. SS TARDIS. No. Come on. Be real. I like out of the box, but like that's a bit too far out of the box. Like the SS Asswipe. I mean, that's just not gonna fly, you know? We spent 20 minutes already trying to think about names for this boat. And I probably got about how much right now? How much do I have? 600, maybe 900. 900 out of 4,000. So I got about 24% of the money right now. Let me see something. I could call it the Tiger. No. It's not going to happen. All right, everybody's voting for Chowderhead. I'm going to tell you that if Chowderhead wins, there's a chance I'm going to override it. I'm just going to override it. There's a chance. Well, yeah, I mean, that's how you do it. Actually, my father named the boat after my sister. I was like, what's up? Can't name it after me? No, I wasn't like that, but especially at my age. I gotta think about it. Believe me, I'm gonna put some more up, and I wanted to put something up today, and I'll just keep. I'll put up like no more than 24 names. That's what I'll do. No more than 24 names. Cherry pie. I'll be honest. I mean, I like that name, but I think it should be something related to Thailand or to rivers or to me and all of these things or whatever. Can we change votes if you add to the list? I can't add to this list. I'll have another list of 5. What I'll probably do is end up with you can only do 5 in one list. So I'd have 5 lists is what I would have, and that'd be 24. I can make it 24. Jannar, I mean, you're trying too hard, Jannar. I could call it Pebbles Dashing. Wild Cherry. I like Wild Cherry better than Cherry Pie, but it doesn't have anything to do with me, Thailand, Asia, adventure. You know, it doesn't have anything to do with it. SS Farang is... Duke, where are you? You obviously haven't gone and tried to vote now, have you? Or if you did, I don't know what happened, how you forgot that, but it's on the list already. Just go right there. Put your vote in for SS Farang if that's what you like. This is funny. You know, now I have a mission now. This is like going to Hong Kong for me. You know? I go to Hong Kong, I make a little money. I have some adventure. What? But the next list will have 2. I didn't say the next list will have 2. I said there will be a 5 list. One list of 5, another list of 5, another list of 5, another list of 5, and a list of 4. The minnow, nah. That was old. Think of something new. The farang is already on the first list, so why would I put it on again? What I mean is it's going to be 5, there's going to be 24 different names. I think 24 is a good number, either that or 16. But I know a lot of people have names. I'm going to have to go back and look at these and see, okay, what's the next? And I'll just keep asking for a few days, and when I hit 24, that'll be it, no more. And then whichever one gets the best, the top 3, I'll choose one of the top 3. I think that's a good way to do it. Yeah, I don't like the minnow. I could call it, what the hell's the Titanic? Well, yeah, like a tournament, exactly, Paul. That's what I wanted to do. I voted, but okay, banana split. Say, Scott, how is Muay Thai scene in Bangkok these days? I don't know. I don't really follow anybody except the guys who used to box for the company I worked with, and they're training people and stuff, and that's about it. But other than that, I haven't been to a Muay Thai fight in years. It's been years, really. It's been about 8 years. I mean, I used to have press credentials and I used to be able to go ringside at Rajdamdurn and Lumpini, and I'd be sitting right on the ring apron. It was great, I appreciate good fighters, but no, I'm out of that, man. Do you coach people sometimes? You're thinking about it? Nah. There was a time I wanted to open a gym up just for boxing, not for Muay Thai. But no, I don't really want to. It's way, way too much work and too much money. One of the things you have to do is if you have a gym, first of all, you have to have a connection with a Thai, a trustworthy Thai, which is not all that easy. I mean, there are people I know who have done it, but it's not very easy. And second of all, you're going to be the money guy. Basically, it's like, oh, my mother is sick. I need some money because, I don't fight for 2 months. And then you're like, all right, how much? 10,000. Okay, and then you got to get the money back from them when they fight again. And then by the time they fight, they're broke. And they're like, and I don't want to be involved in that shit, I don't have the money to play around with to be able to do that. If you're the first, If you're the first person to do it, then you might be in the. Okay, well, I don't really care about all that. You will not be allowed to raft in Myanmar. Non-Burmese are not small. What? Non-Burmese are not allowed in small wooden ferry boats. Only allowed on large. Well, who's talking about a ferry boat? Are not allowed in small, and who's talking about wood? Mia Thai. Now that's not a bad one. What? It is WAP WTA. I'm missing out here. I'm terrific. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's pretty good. That might make the list. Mia Thai might make the list. Well, whatever. If I couldn't go rafting somewhere in Myanmar on a inflatable or a rubber raft or whatever, then c'est la vie. Their loss. I do know I have been on some boats before. Maybe I'd have to pay somebody there to be able to do something like that. But I was on a boat once. I don't know if you guys remember. I was out in the middle of the jungle, and I got I think it was a longtail boat. I don't know one song by Cardi B. I just know her name. I don't know anything else about her. But anyway, I went out with an older guy, and Manam Chang. Yeah, okay. I went out with an older woman, excuse me, and a younger guy, and I had been drinking with him the night before. We went out on this like a long-tail boat, and then we headed up the river, and we went up to this temple. But as we were going to the temple, the guy goes, I said, "Can we go down this river here? Can we turn off and veer?" "No, you cannot. If you go there, you will die." I said, "Why am I going to die?" "Because this is where the military base is. So, you know, I know that Myanmar is very, very difficult to do anything. And, you know, I spent a fair amount of time there. And it's, you know, permits and this and that. And then, you know, it's a pain. I kind of expected that I wouldn't be able to do it, but young Aussie, a pain in the bum, avoid at all costs when drunk, gave up going to Bali, embarrassed as an Australian." What part of the country are you setting sail? Well, it has to be from the north. I don't know exactly where north. The Ping, the Nan, what is it? What was that other river? Son of a bitch. Let me see. See if I can find it. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, this is the ticket. Ah, shit. Here we go. Okay, it would be the Ping, well, it'd have to be the Ping, even if it was the Wang or the Wang, the Yam, which runs into the Nan River. So it would probably be the Nan. I don't know about the Moon or the Chin. Well, the Chin, it couldn't be the Chin. I don't see the Moon. It would have to be the Nan, the Ping, or the Wang, the Wang, it's actually Wang, to the Ping, and then to the Chao Phraya. But I don't know. I mean, I have to talk with all these river people. I have no idea what it's like up there. I have to do a scouting little thing. That's why I'm going to go up to Chiang Mai. If I can't go to Chantaburi, and if I can, I'll go to Chiang Mai. But you know, you can only gather so much information so quickly. But I am working on it. Oh, that's good to know. So anyway, I'll give you something there. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can do this. Wang Ping. I don't think that's gonna work. Let's see. All right, this might work. Let me give you this link here. If anybody's interested, and maybe I should put this up in the community tab. This is a map, just a real basic map of the rivers. And you know, I might be talking about something that is so far over my capabilities that I might have to do it in different sections. I don't know, you know, I just have to find out. I mean, you know, this might be 6 months, 8 months, 9 months for me to figure this out. Scott, wish a waterproof cam for his next trip. Let's help him a little. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think I can get a GoPro, the new GoPro, but there is somebody I want to talk to about it. It's basically about the sound and what the hell do they call that thing you add on to it? There's a section that you add up like to make the sound better. And I don't know about that. But yeah, anyway, we'll be talking about this forever. I could talk about this over and over and over again. The bottom line is I got to make some progress, and I've been checking, and you know, As far as I know, yes, there is. Listen, I mean, I don't understand. What people don't understand is that Thailand's not going to be the same. I don't care what anybody says. It's not going to be the same. And Pattaya is not going to be exactly like it was before. There may be some resemblance to it. It just depends on how things work out. How do I know? It's very difficult to say, but they have been talking about developing that area for quite some time. Well, I don't think I would be on the Pai River, and I'm not going to Myanmar. I don't want to go out of the country anywhere. I'm not going out of the country, period. If I was going to go out of the country, I'd just go like down the Mekong and or just go over to Laos or something. I would do something like that. But not now. It's not going to happen. I don't want any hassles with getting in and out. That's the last thing I want. But I just barely touched the Laos. I didn't mean to. It was an accident. What do I do? You fuck up. You don't have visa. You go to jail. I don't want any of that, A few years like the 80s and 90s. All right. Well, thank you, Exeter Choke D to you. Appreciate that. Every little bit helps. I really appreciate it. And I think it's time to go. We've had a long stream today. You fuck up. Oh, you see, this is exactly what I mean. If I listen to you guys, I put something on a boat and I'll end up in jail for the rest of my life. No, Pattaya is not dirty because of walking street. No, I don't want to wake up on the wrong side of the river. Pattaya is dirty because it's dirty. Because people don't clean it. And you can call it dirty as in, what goes on there and all that kind of stuff. But that's been going on for 50 years, man, 40 years. So, yeah, I don't want that to happen. We don't want that to happen. That's actually why I want somebody with me. I got to have somebody with me, somebody I trust, for safety reasons and also for screw-up reasons. Counterbalances, checks and balances. So, anyway, it's exciting to think about it. I'm like, okay, well, and the other thing is like, do I really want a motor? And I think it's important, man. I just think it's important. It doesn't have to be a big motor, but it just has to be a motor that can handle the current, whatever the currents might be, however strong they might be. And, for the most part, maybe I don't have to use it, and I can row, or we can row, or the current will take us downstream, or whatever. We do a little bit of rowing. I don't know, but I do think it's kind of important to have an outboard motor. And, you can pick one up for $300-400, How do I know? Duke, I don't know. The coverage is pretty good, though. And no, I don't want a satellite phone. It's the last thing I need. Yeah, like a trolling motor. That would be good. I do think a GPS is... now that's a pretty good one, River Rat, but I'm sure that one is used to death. I think a GPS would be good, and listen, if I had the money, I think a satellite, sat phone would be good, but I don't think it's really necessary. If you have a Thai policeman, it could be a help. I have it on Cambodia, no one bothers me. A Thai police, I'm not bringing a Thai policeman with me. I took the bus from Bangkok to Mukdahan for the visa run. Best time ever. All right, well, that's good. Good you had fun. Personally, doing visa runs does not suit my desires. I don't want to be taking visa runs. It's the last thing I want. So you sound like a total newbie. Someone who is, you know, in love with Thailand. Sat phone is $800 plus $100 a month for 60 minutes. Yeah, well, I mean that, you know, that adds, if the whole trip is $4,000 or $5,000, and you know, the idea is in the long run to make some of that money back through videos and stuff like that. I use a Garmin Montana when I'm in the jungle. Notify it works anywhere. Never lose a signal. Very handy. That was 2013. Yeah, well, I used to take them back in the 90s, the late 90s. Yeah, I think a renting a sat phone would be better, but I don't know if I'll need one. I'll find out. I mean, listen, yeah, cut me some slack. Jesus Christ. I got like, you know, 100 things, and I'll tell you what I'll do. Probably by tomorrow, I will put up, maybe I'll put up a members video where I'll put up a blog or something with a list that I've compiled so far of what I need. A sat phone is something that would be nice, but is not necessarily a make or break, you know. I mean, Jesus Christ, I can get myself a $5,000 inflatable raft if I really want it tricked out, but what's the point? I mean, you know, it's like, I like being on the water, I do, and like if I was to have a little apartment near the ocean somewhere, it'd be great to be able to go out. That'd be fantastic. All right, cool. Let's go for a little cruise. You know, but right now, I know there's a Garmin's right behind me. There's Garmin watches right behind me, and food, water, you know, where you're gonna sleep. The data, I'm not worried about data. I'm not worried about that. Not when you pay $5 for you pay $5 for 100 gigabytes of bandwidth, and that lasts a month very easily. So I'm not worried about that. But food is important. Because, you know, like Longhorn says to me, oh, well, like we just every day we'll pull over to the side and we'll have to find a guest house or something. I said, that'd be nice, but I'm like, you know, we're going to need to bring water. We're going to need all these things in case we don't see anything. He's like, well, we will. I'm like, yeah, but you don't know. You're not positive. You know, I mean, maybe you will, maybe you won't, but maybe you have to sleep on the boat every once in a while. Maybe you can sleep at a guest house and it's right there, or, you know, who knows? I don't know. That's what I mean. It's not like I can do a huge scouting expedition. That's another, you know, that's another big deal. Anyway, listen, I gotta go. I got things to do. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and all the banter back and forth, and all the names and suggestions. I do, you know, I take in everything. You know, initially I may think, it's a stupid idea. And then I start to think about it, and I go, well, maybe it's not so stupid. Maybe I'm thinking stupid. Maybe it is a good idea. And, you know, it takes me a while to process everything, you know. Well, that's the thing. You guys are here, and at least for a few minutes every day or every other day or something, there'll be a little update, and you guys can find out what's going on then if and when it actually happens, which I believe it will happen. I'm off to a good start so far. The channel is doing well, better than usual. Hopefully it'll continue. Next month will be even better than this month. That's what I'm hoping for. You know, something seems to be working, so. Anyway, appreciate that. Do me a favor, leave a thumbs up if you can do that. Leave a thumbs up. And for those people who are going to be here when I do it, when it happens, if they're here, maybe we can work something out where you can take a trip along with us for a certain number of days or something like I said. I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I still make money from my Chowderhead letters, so I'm all right. That's good. He can do them. That's fine. Everybody can do them. It's not like it's a, you know, there's a copyright on doing that. And there's plenty of Chowderheads out there, even now. You know, no one will do them like me, and no one will do them like him. I didn't know that, but whatever. It doesn't matter. So anyway, I gotta go. Do me a favor, like I said, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Check down in the description to see how you can help out. Whether it's just you can get something through Amazon yourself, doesn't cost you anything extra, or whatever. And if you, like I said, if you do want to contribute anything towards the trip, just make a note. Like if you send a PayPal, make a note that says, "Here's $5 towards the trip." I will set that aside for the trip, and I'm gonna figure something out with an app or a script in the next day or two. I know there's some apps, and it will show where I am, and I've got to tabulate everything, figure out is the list complete, is it not complete, and in the meantime, I still need to be exercising, so I'm getting in better shape and I'm eating better. I started eating better again. And yeah, so there's a lot of things to think about. But anyway, that's all I have. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Until next time, all I got to say is choke the leo jerken mai, and I will see you when I see you. I need a raft flag. Again, I have to make a list. Eventually that will happen, but you know, that, although it's important, you know, it's not the most important thing. First you gotta get the boat. You know, that's a fair amount of money. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.